Good morning, guys. Time for another vlog. Today I'm doing the vlog for the completed Eevee painting. I should have done this yesterday, but things happened, and so I wasn't able to record a video yesterday. So first off, I'm going to say that I did complete the Eevee painting. I was going to do a lot more shading in the leaves, not the leaves, the grass, and I was going to do more shading in the flowers and things like that. But I decided against it because I didn't want to put too much detail in the background. Because again, the background was supposed to just frame the Eevee and the Weedle, which I think this does it pretty well. So you can see what's going on in this. You focus directly into the Eevee and the Weedle. Even with the distraction of the flowers on either side, they're so washed out in the purples that they don't take over the actual painting. And the more you look at it, the more you'll see like the ivy in the foreground, the flowers, the sprouts, the tall grass, all of that. But your main focus is still going to be on the Eevee. Even with the light rays, which are better than the last ones I did, I also picked up a ruler to do them better now. So I was watching how people were doing it, and it seems to be mostly either using tape or rulers. So, why did I not get a vlog out yesterday? I will tell you why. And in order to do that, we need to come over here and grab my son's tablet. So, as you guys know, or some of you may know, my son has ASD, he's special needs, and he's going to see this video and he's going to get mad at me, and he might be in the comments. But he always has a tablet because it helps him focus and keeps him from being extra hyper. So if we take a look at this, you can see it's pretty beat up and mangled. Yesterday in the morning, what ended up happening was when I went to bring him his breakfast, and he asked me to hand him his tablet. So I did, and he accidentally put his elbow on it when I was in the other room and just completely decimated this thing. So let's see if it still has power. See if I can find the power button. Ah, there it is. So as you can see, this thing is destroyed. Now, it's not just destroyed on the screen, but it's also destroyed inside. So it was bent. So the boards on the inside are bent as well. But yeah, so that happened. So I spent the day trying to sell paintings to basically get enough money to buy my son a new tablet, because this is something that he needs. It's not just to keep him placated. It's not just something to not have to worry about him and basically use it as a babysitter. That's not what's going on. So my son's had that tablet for about 1.5 years. He hasn't had any issues, but the problem is he is accident prone. So every now and then these things do break, and they'll usually break catastrophically. We've been through 3 switches. We've been through like 10 tablets. As he gets older, he's getting much better. There were times when he'd have a tablet for 3 months and it would break, even with cases. And this just has to go with conditions and him being accident prone. So he never does it on purpose. But this one, it was 1.5 years. He's doing a lot better. But the thing is, he doesn't just use it for that. He's also using it to learn how to make music. He's also using it for YouTube. He's using it for his entertainment as well. But then it also helps him focus. So this is one of those things that he needs, because when he doesn't have a tablet, he doesn't know how to focus himself. Now, some of you might get upset and be like, well, that's because you're not parenting. It's like, no, he has ADHD, ASD, and OCD. This is an actual tool that's used to help him maintain his cognitive control. So anyways, we were trying to get him a new tablet, and it was all day. So I'm posting basically paintings, trying to sell them, asking my friends to share them, posting in the local Facebook groups, things like that. Now, I already had an Etsy, but I wasn't counting on that, because even if somebody went there, Etsy was going to take a good, like, say, 20%, and then the shipping fees on that, the top of that. So I'd be losing about 25% of whatever I made there, and then I'd have to wait a week for the money to get him the tablet, which would be really bad for him, because he wouldn't know what to do with himself. And then on top of that, there could be issues where that pent-up energy that he normally puts into the tablet making music or videos or artwork or things like that would be directed somewhere else, and there's a higher chance of something else breaking. But so I'm going through there, and I'm uploading a bunch of uploading a bunch of paintings and posts and things like that. And I go through and I ask some of my friends to share the post, and I go on Snapchat and I ask one of my friends on there whose boyfriend hates me. And the reason he hates me is because when they weren't together a while back, she sent me a boob picture, and he went through her phone and Facebook and found it. And so he went on her account and blocked me on Facebook, and then sent me a bunch of like nasty messages and everything, and then sent me nasty messages on her account before the block, like calling me the N-word and a bunch of other things. But anyway, so I asked her if she can share the post because I'm trying to get my son a new tablet. So she did not share the post, and I was not unblocked to do the sharing post. But right after I said that to her, keep in mind, he's blocked too, so he doesn't have access to my page. Right after that, what ends up happening is all of my posts trying to make money for my son's tablet got flagged on Facebook. Like, all of them in a row. And I'm freaking out, and I'll upload a new one, and it'll instantly get flagged. I couldn't figure out what was going on. So, a few hours later, the posts start coming back up. Facebook went and did a manual review, but while they were reviewing, I couldn't upload any public posts whatsoever. Turned out that it was either her friend, or her and her boyfriend, or something like that. They decided to start flagging my posts. Now, keep in mind, this is someone that I have gone out of my way to help. So she was in recovery from drug addiction, and I watched her dog for 2 months, and I paid for everything. She didn't have to pay for anything. It was funny because she's like, if you do this, I'll let you touch my boobs and blah, 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 blah. And I told her, look, you don't need to do that stuff. It's not okay. Don't worry about it. I'll just watch your dog. I considered her a friend. So this all goes down, and now my posts are getting flagged. And I can't get a tablet for my son. I can't get money to get a tablet for my son. Like I've told you guys before, I have a severe, limited income. I'm so in debt, you wouldn't even believe. And it's all because I have to work at home with my son, and he gets SSI, but at the same time, I'm still not getting IHSS, which is to help me take care of him. So I get paid for taking care of him. For the past year and a half, I have been taking care of him full time because there's no one else who can, and he can't be left alone. There's a bunch. He goes to a special school, all that jazz. But that being said, and aside, things are freaking out, and I was upset because my posts aren't going, things like that, and I was just feeling really defeated. And all of a sudden, my posts start coming back up. It's like, okay, cool. We're gonna try and get these things, we're gonna try and get these things sold. It's just so enough that I can get this. I'll sell my paintings at a loss, that kind of thing. I even put the painting that I want $5,000 for, which I spent 3 weeks on, right here. This one, my Medusa painting that I spent 3 weeks on, and I love this thing, and I'm trying to sell it for $5,000 on Etsy, right? And I also posted this, which is my favorite One Piece painting I've done. I listed them on there. I was going to sell this thing for just a couple $100 just to get my son a tablet because it's more important. Right? And, I'm just trying to go through the motions because I understand what's going on, and nothing's really happening. So we're having a bad day. We're having a rough day. And all of a sudden I get a message around 4 o'clock. And it's my friend David. And my friend David also has an autistic child, and we've been friends for years. And he sells tacos, and he has a taco stand, works his ass off, and he's like, "Hey, Greg, send me pictures of your paintings. We'd like to buy some." And I felt bad because I'm like, "Are you sure?" Because I charge a lot for my paintings and everything else. Are you sure? I know you work really hard for your money. And he didn't even read that. 10 minutes after I sent him that message, he calls me. Now, when he calls me, he's like, "Hey, Greg, are you ready for some good news?" And I'm like, "Yeah, what's up?" He's like, "Okay, so my friend, he's going to donate Charlie a tablet." So he had a tablet at home, a good one, a Samsung. He had a case for it, everything else. He didn't use it. And he wanted to donate my son the tablet rather than us um, having to scrounge and everything else to try and get him a tablet, because he understood that my son had the issues that he did, and he's well aware of it because he's friends with David. And so he donated his tablet to my son because David had shared my post and everyone knew what was going on. Um, and it was just a really amazing thing for somebody to do. And my son's very happy. He's got a new tablet. It doesn't have cracks in it. It's not damaged. It's got a case, and he's just smiling ear to ear. So I told him, well, do you want any of the paintings that I've done? And it's like, I will give you any of the paintings to say thank you. And so he wanted the quote Pikachu painting, which was the Mimikyu one. So he has the Mimikyu painting. But then I also told him that if he ever needs anything painted, that I would just paint it for him for free. And my friend David, I'm doing the same thing. So my next painting for David is actually for his daughter and his grandchild. So they would like a classic Winnie the Pooh painting for her, probably for her room. And I've known them for years. I actually used to be her property manager, and they used to be customers of mine and everything else. And it's really funny. Things work out, and my friends are like, good things happen to good people. And I'm like, yes, my son has been doing very well. He's doing good in school. He's trying his best, and I'm very proud of him. And the fact that people came through for him like that just warms my heart. It really does. And so that is what happened yesterday. Other than that, there wasn't too much. I spent a good couple hours watching shows with my son because he wanted to watch One Piece. So we spent 2 hours watching One Piece. He just got into it. We're still in the East Blue arc. He's at Arlong Park. So he's just starting to learn the backstory of Nami. And you just see him he's 13 going on 14, but he's slightly less mature than he should be. Wink, wink. He's watching this video. Don't get mad, Charlie. But that's the thing, is he's watching it and he's really enjoying it. He's reading the Japanese subtitles. This is the first time he's ever done that. But he's listening to the voices, and he clearly sees that the voices in the Japanese are better than the voices in English. And so he's taking the extra effort to read the subtitles. This will get him much faster at reading, but yeah, that's what happened. We had a rough morning that turned into a rough middle of the day, that turned into a great afternoon, and finally a great evening. And so not only was I able to finish this painting yesterday while I was freaking out, because I was, and that's why I decided to end the painting when I did, because I didn't want it to suffer for me not paying attention properly. But also, my son got his tablet. It turned into a very good evening. And it let me know where I stand with those people who I thought were friends, or that woman who I thought was a friend, who I had helped in the past, which clearly isn't. People will just try to take advantage of you, which is an issue. Now, I personally have this belief that if you're going to help somebody unconditionally. Unless you're loaning them money or something, don't expect something back. Because if you're loaning them money, you should expect to get repaid. I do have somebody who's slowly paying me back for some money I lent them a long time ago, like last year. And so I lent them money last year, and they're slowly paying me back because they're having a lot of trouble too. But when it comes to people who you help out in ways other than money, like, for example, housing, rehoming an animal, just taking care of them, getting them work, whatever it is, letting someone stay with you while they're dealing with domestic violence issues, do it unconditionally. Don't expect anything back, because if you're expecting anything back, even if they offer something back, like in the case of my friend Pam, who said, you can grow my boobs. It's like, no, you don't need to do that. It's not something that should be done, because holding those conditions over people when they're in a time of need, it says more about you than it does about them, because they may be willing to do it for you, and they will most likely resent you for it later on. But how they, excuse me, hiccuping a little, how they react after the case, how they react when you don't act on that. You don't expect anything back from them. If they act like this person is, and then you know you were just being used by that person and they didn't have any other options. So it tells you where you are in their friendship hierarchy, which is really important because I know thousands of people in this town. Everybody in this town knows me from when I worked at the gas station for 7 years. And there are a lot of people who will just try to use me for that. But there are good people who have developed actual good, strong friendships with me through that. Like, for example, my friend Katie, who during Christmas time, I didn't have money for presents for my kids. So I was trying to borrow $50 from my friends just to be able to get them anything. And then Katie, she sent me $350 to buy my kids presents. And she said she didn't want anything back. And I offered all kinds of things. And to this day, she still hasn't requested anything back and will still talk to me and still treats me as a friend and treats me as an equal and not somebody who owes her anything, which is how friendships are supposed to be. If you were doing something for your friends and it's not unconditional, it's not, I got you, don't worry about getting me. And if they're not doing the same, there's a problem with that friendship. All right, guys, that's it for today. I'm rambling. I'm already at 16 minutes here. I don't normally make vlogs this long. So I hope you guys have a wonderful day. I'm going to be starting a Winnie the Pooh painting today for my friend. I might take more than a day for it, depending on the quality. It's going to be the same size as the Eevee one here. I just have to choose which painting I want to do, because it's going to be for their wall, for their child, and for a friend of mine. So I want to make sure it's good. All right, guys, you have a wonderful day. Take care and be safe.